Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Reaver and welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about one character board. This is the first time I've only done one board during one of these videos, and that is Hawkeye. Let's go ahead and get into what I read. So this board was released in January. The group book during January was Legend Born by Tracy Dion. I did use this to complete one prompt, and that was about revenge. The next book that I read, and that is Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker. This completed the prompt about platonic friendship, a comic book, and a character who is hearing impaired. The character has cochlear implants. If you don't know what those are, basically it's an implant for people who are deaf or near deaf to be able to hear better. I do work with a kid at my school who has cochlear implants, so I am around them a lot. I was in her class for several months and worked with her one-on-one a ton for those first few months at this daycare that I am now at, the daycare preschool that I work at. And then she's in the next room over from me now, and I still help out with her from time to time. So I have seen this particular type of implant firsthand. I know kind of a bit about it, how it works, what the effects it has, and that kind of thing. But I also did my best friend in first grade was deaf, and that made me passionate about the hearing community, or the non-hearing community, and how the hearing people interact with non-hearing people and things like that. So I did really appreciate that element of the story, although I don't think it was excessively prominent within the story itself. It was present. It was, just a part of the story in the fact that it was, in every single drawing. You could see them a couple of times. They were talked about. But for the most part, I don't think it was super prevalent, which wasn't my favorite thing. I wish it had been a little bit stronger, but given that it is a relatively short graphic novel, what are you gonna do? Also, LGBTQ representation. Archetypes include fluffy romance, second chance romance, werewolves, witches, magic, and a bookshop. It is kind of a mix of plot and character driven. It is a lighter tone. It is subtle themes. The art is a little bit more in the middle. It's kind of surreal, not super realistic. And it's more dialogue led than action or narrative, which in this case is a little bit different than your typical narrative. Okay. My thoughts, the first line of my review, overall review section is, this was cute but not very well plotted. It was much too kidsy for the target audience. Otherwise, it was fine, though. Obsessed with the hearing impairment rep. As one of the kids I work with at the daycare is hard of hearing and uses cochlear implants, I liked how they talked about that element of the character's learning experience. Yeah, so like I said, it wasn't perfect representation in the fact that it was just kind of there, but they did incorporate it in some spots in enjoyable ways. So overall, it was alright, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. Not because it was bad, but because it could have been, it had potential. It was just like I said in the review, it was kidsy. The plot was not, it was not there. Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shannon McGuire. Shannon McGuire's Wayward Children series, book 3. I talked about book 1 in the video I just filmed, and book 2 in 2 wrap-ups ago. There was a mix-up. It's okay. It's fine. You can see the links. Let's talk about where this fit on the boards. This fit found family purple, a purple book, or purple on the cover. Purple. There's purple. I die. It's so good. I'm obsessed. This world, I am, yes. And the cover, oh my god, the cover. I will never not love this cover. And the story was great because we got character development of some of the characters that we haven't seen from as much that were talked about in book 1, but we didn't see it all really in book 2. We got some development of them, as well as a continuation of a story that was kind of left in a kind of sad spot in book 1, and we got kind of some resolution to that in this book, which I really loved. All in all, obsessed, and I give it 5 stars. The last book really quickly. This is the board again, and for the last 2 prompts, an underhyped or forgotten book, and arrow on the cover, we have Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerall. This book, okay, can I be honest with you? The main reason I really wanted it in my life was because the cover is really freaking pretty. Okay, so we're following Britta. She just lost her dad and is recruited after she's caught poaching. Then she's given the option of saving herself by capturing her father's killer, who turns out is somebody that she thought she trusted. So there's that. Representation, facial scoring. That's it. That's it. Archetypes include dream sequence, survival, missing someone, outlawed magic, upcoming war, secret magic, secrets, flashback sequence, chosen one, elemental magic, sort of, kind of like they say it's elemental, but I wouldn't say it's actually elemental because of the way that it works. And like, we don't even get any details about actual elemental magic. Like, there are people who do elemental magic apparently, but like we see, I think 2 of them for like 2 seconds, so I wouldn't get too excited about that. Female only magic, memory loss, witch trials-ish type thing. Like, definitely has that vibe, that inspiration. The whole I shouldn't have kissed you, where they like have a conversation after the fact and they're like, pretend I didn't do that, you know? That kind of conversation and, you know, plot device. That happens. Miscommunication and assumptions. So it's kind of in the middle of plot and character driven. It's kind of in the middle for light and dark tone. It's kind of the softish side of the magic system, but it is the first book in the series, so I think it would be further explained later, because we don't like, she's coming from the country where the magic is like illegal, blasphemous, whatever, and going into the, you know, she goes into the place where it's not illegal towards the end, and that's, you know, we don't see the magic stuff really present during the first part because she's not in the place where she could learn more about it, and therefore we could learn more about it. But then, you know, by the end she goes in the other ones, we should learn a little bit, but it's hard to explain in depth without spoils. Spoils, yes. Spoils. We're not going to talk about it, okay? World structure is softer. It's kind of a mix between action, dialogue, and narrative. Let's see. Honestly, there are so many dislikes that I can't even get into them. But, okay, like, here's the main thing is, like, when I got to the halfway point of this book, I almost DNF'd it because it was just so average. Like, there was nothing that made me want to continue reading because everything was pretty predictable. Like, yeah, there could be some cool twist along the way to get there, but we knew it was going to happen in the end. You know, it's like one of those things. And it was just average. There wasn't anything necessarily great or captivating or insanely amazing about the writing. Literally the only, like, that I added in here was a good plot twist or two. Originally, I was gonna put this at like a 3-star when I was originally reading it. But then when I went back to do my rating, I kind of realized that I had like I have to scroll to be able to see all of my dislikes on here. So instead of giving you all my dislikes, I'm actually going to give you my categorized ratings, which I normally don't talk about here, but I am going to talk about them because I can't really describe my dislikes without getting spoilery or like taking a million years. So plot development, I give it 2. Character and relationship development, I gave it 2. Action scenes, I give it 3. Because they were just average. Dialogue, I give it 3 because it was just average. World setting structure was a 3 because it wasn't super strongly present. But I find that lately, most of the books that I've been reading, it's not super strong, and I don't recognize a huge picturesque thing being described in any way. But this is also coming from somebody who really loves Cassie Clare, so take that as you will. I do love her excessive descriptions, and I recognize them as excessive and that they're not for everyone. So I'm going with an average. If there's not really a whole lot of description, or maybe like almost none, then I usually go with like either average or like a 2 or a 3, depending on, if it's a 3, if it's like not really there, but it's a little bit. And then if it's like just not at all there, then it's probably like a 2. Because like, each to their own. It's kind of hard to, okay. Moving on. Magic science system, a 3, because we didn't really get a lot of info yet. So, theme strength, a 3. Quality of writing, a 3. Tact, which is tactful or accurate representation, or tactful or accurate representation of triggering elements, controversial topics, and themes. Personal, that I gave a 2. Personal enjoyment, I gave a 3. Satisfaction at conclusion, I gave a 3. So my average categorized rating was a 2.7273. I rounded it to a 3. I rounded it to a 2 instead of a 3 because of the paragraph of dislikes that I had. I will not be continuing with the series because I don't enjoy her writing style. I also have no strong feelings towards the characters. I disliked them more than I liked them, but I didn't hate them either. I just found them kind of stupid and annoying, mostly. More than I found them, like, I didn't hate them. I just thought they were kind of stupid. They made stupid decisions or comments or whatever. They did the most when it came to assuming things, which is a problem for me. I hate assumptions a lot. It's a problem. I hate it. I hate it so much. So it wasn't the thing for me. It's fine. For the center prompt for Hawkeye's board, I already have studied ASL in the past, but I have been away from it for a while. I haven't had an opportunity to use it in my work as much because I use some basic signs with Camille, the girl who's deaf, but since she's not in my class, I don't get to use them every day and I don't get to practice as much. And also it still is basic signs because she is 3. So I can't have like an at-length huge conversation because she's trying to learn how to say words and sign words at the same time now that she has her implants. So she's like learning a lot of things and it's a lot. So, I mean, even if I had her every day, it would still be limited. But I did want to go back and review some basic signs because I tend to learn specific things that are relevant to what I need. So when I was in retail, I learned specific like words and phrases that were going to be extremely important and relevant to my conversations in that capacity. And I like really capitalized on those. But when it comes to like basic everyday items and objects and actions. Sometimes I forget them because I don't get to use them. Like food signs, like a lot of different foods I don't remember because I didn't have to sign food at the makeup store. So I don't remember all of them. So I decided to go back and review a video by Bill Vis something. Go watch my Hawkeye video, or go watch my ASL quick guide video. And it has him linked below, but he's awesome. I just went through the 100 basic signs video and like went through to see which ones I remembered and then tested myself like that way, and then the ones that I remembered wrong, I went back and I tried to remember them right the second time. That was my plan. It was a great time. So that's what I did for the center prompt, was just kind of a review because I want to get back into more in-depth study and becoming fluent. But before I do that, I want to refresh and recap what I do know and kind of level myself in, or into like where I need to start. You know what I mean? So that was what I did for the center prompt. Here is the completed board. Just what it looked like. It be done. And that means I be done with this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can become a part of the Bear Scouts and be notified every time I post new videos. I will see you guys very soon. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
About your worries and your stress. I mean a bare necessity. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.